What's up, everybody? Let's say you just got a brand new shiny Nat 5. You can't wait to build it, start playing with it, but oh my god, 6-starring things in this game takes forever. What are you gonna do? There must be a better way. I get asked this question a lot, actually. So today, I get asked by early game players, how do you make 6 stars fast? I feel like it takes so long to make 6 stars. So today, we're gonna talk about my method that I like to use to somewhat efficiently make 6 stars fairly quickly. This is my alt account, this is my Europe account. We got a Zyros not too long ago. I didn't 6-star him yet, so today we're going to 6-star him, and I'm going to go through a method. Now, there is other methods to doing this. You could do it really fast if you're going to just whale out and buy premium packs and spend like a few $100s and just feed like crazy nonchalantly, but that's not the method we're going to do. That is another method. If you're late game, you're probably not going to get anything out of this video, but this is more for early game players that are because I do get asked this quite a decent amount. So yeah, we're gonna go through how to make 6 stars efficiently. Okay, step 1 is we want to make sure that we have our resources available beforehand. 2 of those resources are the XP booster and the dimensional rift. Now you can get the XP booster. The XP booster is something when you're farming for leveling things up, you always want to have that running. You don't want to have it running when you're not using it, but if you want to have it running whenever you're leveling things up, it's going to make everything go by so much faster. I would not recommend leveling anything up without it. But if you're farming dungeons like dragons, giants, whatever, farming for essences, you really don't need it. So XP boosters you have here. You can get those generally for free from the events and just kind of try to time when you're going to actually use them to 6-star things instead of just oh, I got it, pop it. A lot of times the events will let you collect it whenever you want. You don't have to collect it, and then you can have, because it sits in the inbox for 7 days, so you can wait to collect it from the event a couple extra days. Just make sure you collect it before the event is done. And then we have you can get them from specials from here. I would say anytime you're gonna, it's only 100 crystals. It's well worth it. You get crystals from TOA and stuff like that. It's fine. Anytime you're gonna 6-star things, always make sure you have an XP booster. The dimensional rift, that's kind of controversial because some people feel that it's more. Well, some people mathematically, it's better to farm scenario, right, as far as the XP per energy, but it's much faster to do the dimension rift. So what I like to do is I like to actually do those I like to save them up until I'm ready to 6-star something, and I like to pop into there, and we'll show exactly how the exact method of how I like to do it in a second. We also want to make sure we have other resources available. Food gathered beforehand. Okay, very important to have food gathered beforehand. And what I mean by food is, I also like to have, we got scrolls. I also like to have some unknown scrolls as well. And I like to use those social summons for summons. But I do like to have rainbow mons. We actually have much more rainbow mons in storage. And you can get rainbow mons. The best place to get rainbow mons, I mean, for early, here's kind of the catch-22. For early game, it's harder to get rainbow mons because the best place to get rainbow mons is all of this content right here. Any of the rift beasts or R5 are the best place to get rainbow mons. However, a lot of early game players aren't really going to be doing that because they can't tackle R5 and they can't tackle the rift beasts and get anything. They're going to be oh, I can do a C rank. Is that good enough? You really don't want to keep farming the rift beasts when you're. But if you have anything that's S rank or above, then you can go ahead and farm it. But it's mostly about just they drop from dragons and giants and essence farming as well. But it's just it's higher chance to have them drop from the worlds. But I do like to have all of those. I do like to have those already in my inventory before I start 6-starring things. Also, the guild shop, this right here, the Rainbow Mon. This is the must buy every week. Every single week, this is the first thing I buy, this 4-star Rainbow Mon. Because if you have 4 of those, if you have 5 of those, that's basically all the 4-star max level food that you need. And then you just have to have the 3 stars and the 2 stars, and then you're set. So Rainbow Mons are the best thing to use as food. That brings me to kind of my next point. Don't be lazy and use Nat 4s. I know it seems You like, oh, it's just a little, I just need one net for there. Let me just do this. Let me just use it now. When am I going to use this Rakshasa? When am I going to use this Dice Magician? And then, like, later, like, it gets a buff and it's super crazy OP. And you're like, no, I used this to make a 5-star. Oh my goodness, I didn't know it was going to be good in the future. Just don't do it. Just take that extra little time to build an actual, like, 4-star food. Like a Rainbow Mon. Upgrade it to 4-star. It's not really that hard, especially nowadays, right? Especially nowadays. It was harder to get food in the beginning, but they've made it so much easier over the course of time. CompTOS has. That's one of the things like they tried to improve over the past 5 years or so. You really don't need to use 4 stars as food. Just keep them in storage and then like wait until like you want to use them, want to build them. You need them for skill, for something else. I mean, if you are going to build a Lucian and you want to use some water jokers to like, for example, you have a 4-star Lucian max level, and then you have a couple water jokers. I would say save one water joker and stick it in storage. You never know, maybe it gets buffed or whatever. Just as an example, and then you can use the other ones to 5-star the Lucian at the same time as using them as food. So you have the 1 4-star max level Lucian, and then you have the 4 water jokers, and then you skill them up as well as 5-starring it, leveling it up at the same time. So that's one thing. And then pop booster and farm efficiently, which we're gonna go do now. We pop the XP booster. Now we have to get some food. We have to level it up in a somewhat efficient manner. So the way that I like to do it, and also a thrifty manner, because I know some people like to just pop premium packs and spend money and it's not a problem. But for me, I cannot spend thousands of dollars on every single one of my accounts. It's just not an option. So we have to try to do it the thrifty budget way. So what I like to do, this is actually not my method. This is other people have created this a long time ago, and then a lot of us have just been doing it since then. I like to buy silver 2-stars from the shop. The silver 2-stars specifically are half the price. Let's just do refresh here. The silver 2-stars are half the price. We see 12.5, 12.9, 12.3, and then this one's 23. So the silver 2-stars, we just need 2 stars, right? We just need 2 stars to level them up. But I don't level up to 1 stars, that's kind of a waste. But the 2 stars are nice, and they're half the cost of the yellow stars, right? So the silver ones are half the cost of the yellows, just in general. And we're gonna basically just use those as food. So if you've seen me like do this in other videos or on stream or whatever, I will just keep buying the silver 2 stars because they're cheaper, and we need food for when we're making our 3 and 4 stars. Now we're here in the Dimensional Rift, and we have our silver 2 stars. And we're going to load us up with the silver 2 stars, and we need a farmer. We're going to use the Fire Inugami, of course, because he's a very budget, free-to-play friendly farmer. And this should we're only going to do 1 run with these, because this should, oh no, he didn't get that one. Well, actually, Fire Inugami works best if the opponents are, well, actually, he works just fine here, because he's just going to keep getting extra turns, Lucian works, Tashara's amazing. Zyros, Alicia, Beth, anything that has multiple AoEs. If you have some premium crazy things that have multiple AoEs too. But Water Homunculus is also a nice one. I'm just showing a nice... It's been a while since we've shown the Fire Inugami as a farmer, right? But this is just a nice, free-to-play friendly, budget farmer. You can use Water Magic Knight as well, which the game just gives you anyway. But this is before, back in the good old days, this used to be what people used. Now, we're not going to do it again. We could just replay it, but that's not very efficient because we're already at level 18. So we're going to way overfill if we do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop some, do we have? Yes, we have. We're going to pop some social summons. This gives us, oh, we even got a 3-star. Oh, look at that. We got some light. No, that's where we get the lightning, right? So we're going to do that, and we're just going to max these levels out using, because these were the ones that we were using, the 18s. So we're going to just feed these the 1-stars, and we're going to get them all the way up, and then we're going to feed other 2 silver 2-stars to them, and then we're going to feed those to the Rainbow Mons. Boom, boom. You guys get the idea? Actually, that's one that he was sitting in the XP building beforehand. Before the video. Bagel, you're showing us all the stuff you did beforehand. Oh my goodness. Blasphemy, unsubscribe, dislike. dislike the video. Okay, so we have 3 of these that are 3-starred. So we can go do this, we can go do this, and then we can feed the one of these to these 3. And then we have our very first, so it was just that easy to make something that a lot of people were just feeding 4-star, like, oh, I'm gonna feed this Rakshasa, I'm gonna feed this Barbaric King. Like, it's just that easy to make a 4-star, so now we have to just do this more, the same method, and then we're gonna come back to it in a second. So inevitably, you're gonna come to this part where you have a whole bunch of 2-stars at level 18, and you don't wanna put them through another dimensional rift run because that's not very efficient because they only need a little bit more. So, and you don't have any more 1-stars to feed them, right? You're all out of unknown scrolls, you're all out of the social summons, so you can go here to Faymin. Now, with the nice thing about Faymin compared to the other ones is Faymin, let me show you this actually. Faymin doesn't have any 1-star drops, so you just have more valuable drops. This used to be farmed for a couple reasons, and it's still a very popular farming place. Well, number 1, Lapis is the monster that they give you in the beginning, and she's really great for farming Faymin. Element advantage, plus she's got triple AoE. She's actually a really good farmer. Number 2 is because there's no 1-star drops, so you only get more premium units. You get 2 and 3 stars, which are just more valuable as far as like building new food. And then also, this used to be the last thing. Like, there used to be none of these 4 were in the game at the beginning. So this was just like the one that gave you the most XP. These ones give you more, but it takes significantly longer to run them. That's why people do, a lot of people still do Faymin. Some people do Aiden, but a lot of people still do Faymin. We're gonna pretend we don't have the Water Chimera. We're gonna continue to level these things up with, we just stick these in here. Because we don't want to do a whole another, we'll manage that in a second. But we don't want to do a whole nother Dimensional Rift run with these units. If they just need a little bit more XP, this is just more efficient to do it this way. Perfect. Much better than a 1-star drop. So now we have to go, we have to feed these some more 2-stars, but oh no, we're running out of 2-stars. What do we do when we're running out of 2-stars? Like I said, we don't have any more unknown scrolls. We can just keep refreshing this. I know it's not like, oh, spend 3 crystals, but every time you spend 3 crystals, you generally get like at least a couple. Well, we only got 1 on that one, but generally you get at least a couple 2-stars here, and a few 2-stars for 3 crystals is not that bad of value. I think we might be getting, not getting very good value right now, but a lot of times you get like a few of them for every one of those refreshes. And you also have the benefit of getting scrolls. You have the benefit of getting potentially runes, like we saw. It was a crap rune, but we saw that there's more benefits to it than just these silver 2-stars. We're looking for the silver 2-stars, but we have a lot of other options that we can get on the way. So we just pick up some of these. See, maybe we get. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. But then we can go through and we can 3-star more of these just by doing that, and continue along with what we were doing. So your next problem you're going to encounter is you now have all these 4-star Rainbow Mons, and you didn't buy the Rainbow Mons from the 4-star Max Rainbow Mons from Guild Shop every week. What are you going to feed these to make your 5-stars? Your secret weapon. Your secret weapon. Your already awakened 3-star monsters that you pull already awakened. So you just take these into the Dimensional Hole, you level them up, and you feed all your 4-star Rainbow Mons into those. So that's it, guys. That's how I make my 6-stars on my alts. That's how I do it. There's other ways of doing it as well. No way is wrong. But that's how I like to do it on my alts because it makes it fairly fast and it makes it fairly inexpensive. Like I said again, I don't like to do premium packs and then spend all the 3-stars on the, feed all the 3-stars to the Rainbow Mons, etc., etc. So we made enough here to do, it's been about an hour and 45 minutes. We made enough to do 2 new 6-stars. So we'll do one of these, and we will do, hooray, and we'll do the Zyros. That's the one we were supposed to do anyway, right? That's the one we were supposed to do anyway. So, GG, there we go. We'll do our summons, and we'll call it a day. You're gonna get a new Nat 5. Anything exciting? Not yet. Neo Stone Fighters. See, I'm allowed to skip when it's my own. Ragdoll, 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 Ragdoll. Dark Amazon. Alright, guys. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hopefully it helps some of you guys. Like I said, there's no real wrong way to do it, but that's the way I do it. There's some other ways that people like to do it, but it's much more efficient to do it that way instead of feeding Nat 4s or spending a ton of money on premium packs to do it. So anyway, that's for this one. Hopefully some of you guys maybe got something out of it. I will see you as always in the next one.